Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this video, because it is the month of February, I will show you how to create these candy hearts. Ooh, how sweet. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do is, go ahead and create a new document, and then once you got that created, we're going to go ahead and create a new layer, and we're going to call it stroke. And so I already have this created, and if you don't know how to create a new layer, just hit this button right here at the bottom where it says add layer. Okay, and then just rename it, double click it and rename it. And after you do that, we're going to go on the left hand side of the screen right here. As you can see, there's a little triangle at the very bottom. Out of these shapes, you got your rectangle, circle, and rounded rectangle. So this triangle guy, we're going to go ahead and click that guy once. And then we're going to go all the way to the bottom and hit heart tool. Okay? So now that you got that selected, we're going to go ahead to the middle of the page and hold control and shift at the same time. And then we're just going to drag out the shape and it'll create this perfectly proportional heart. Okay? So now that you got that down, we're going to go ahead and press V on the keyboard for our move tool. And now what we're going to do is hold control and hit J on your keyboard as well. And it'll duplicate your object. And now once you do this part, do not deselect your heart, because if you do, this next part is not going to work. So now what we're going to do is just hold shift and we're going to move it slightly down, okay? Just a tiny bit, not too much. Okay, that's great. Now what we're going to do is, again, do not deselect your object, because it will not work. This next step won't work again if we deselect it. So now what we're going to do is hold control and hit J a few times. Okay, we're going to go do this about 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, what happened was that when you duplicated it, it moved down the same amount that you did previously that very first time. Okay, so that's why we can't deselect it, because if we deselect it, it just won't work. So now what we're going to do is, you see this very first guy right here? Okay, so we're going to hold shift and we're going to hit the second to last one. Not the very last one, but this guy right here, second to last, okay? We're going to select all those hearts. And now what we're going to do is go up here and hit the add tool. So the add boolean operation, I mean. So just click that, and now you got your nice thick shape of the heart. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and just move this guy up a little bit so it's even with our first stroke heart right here, okay? And so now we're going to go ahead and move this guy up. And boom, just like that, you got your nice candy heart already. Okay, and now what we could do is just hit P on your keyboard, and we're gonna go to this very bottom point, and then we're gonna hold shift and hit the next bottom point like that. And now it just gives it a little bit, what do you call it, and it gives it a bit more detail. Okay, all right, so now that we got that done, we're gonna go ahead and just hide all this and go to our layer, hit Control J to duplicate the whole layer, and then we're gonna go ahead and lock this top layer here with this button right here, lock, unlock. And now on our stroke layer, we're going to rename it color. This is where all the coloring is going to take effect. And we can get rid of this little guy right here that we don't need that one. And now what we're going to do is the very top heart, we're going to go ahead and just get rid of the stroke color. And we're going to fill it up with a nice pink color like that. Okay. And now what we're going to do is the same thing on the bottom guy. We're just going to get rid of the stroke. And again, nice pink color like that. Okay, and now because this is on the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and make it a little bit darker, since it's gonna have like a nice little shadow. So hit Control J to duplicate that bottom part of your heart again, and we're gonna go ahead and just make it very dark on the HSL slide. On the L slide, we're gonna go ahead and make it pretty much black, and then 50% opacity, and now you got a nice little shadow right there. Okay, and now for our text, so we're gonna go ahead and just hit T on our keyboard, and we're gonna go ahead and just drag out to a size that you like. Alright, and then the font I'm going to use is Valera Round. Okay, and I got this from Google Fonts, if you are wondering where to get it from. So just go on Google Fonts, look for this. We're going to go ahead and type love. Alright, and now you got this guy down. We're going to go ahead and just select it, hit V on your keyboard and hold shift and select your heart, and we're just going to put it in the middle of our heart. Okay, just like that. And then we're just going to move it up a little bit. Alright, there you go, just like that. Okay, and now we got that done, we're gonna go ahead and just select this guy, and we're gonna change the color to a red, like a nice pink red, so like this. And once you got that down, we're gonna go ahead and do the stroke as well. So our stroke, we're gonna do it 1 point, and we're gonna make it that same pink red. Okay, and it just gives it a little bit thickness to your text. And now what we're going to do with this text is go ahead and go to your layer, your FX on your layers panel, and we're going to go ahead and hit bevel emboss, and that's going to go ahead and give it a nice little 3D effect. and you're just gonna want to play with your settings to see what you like. And right now I have it at 75% opacity and 5 pixel radius, and that's good for now. And then for our 3D, we're gonna do the same thing. Just add a little bit of 3D effect to this, and we're gonna go ahead and just lower the 3D percentage down to 1.4%, so it's not so harsh. And opacity, will have it keep it at 100%, and now it looks like it's actually like kind of in, in the heart itself. And we could just go ahead and lower this guy a little bit more, and boom, look at that. And now what we could do is, because the heart kind of looks like it's laying down, we could hold Control Alt and grab the bottom and drag it up. It'll make it look like it's slightly laying down, and we could just increase this guy's size, overall size, a little bit like this, and boom, look at that, perfect, love, nice. And now you just mess with it a little bit. Okay, so now that once we have that done, we can go ahead and just add all these little details now. So let's go ahead and make a new layer, and we'll call it highlights. And then once we have that, we're gonna go ahead and hit P on our keyboard for the pen tool, and we're just gonna select right here, and we're gonna curve this guy like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and do white, and we're gonna go ahead and go to our stroke pressure. And on the right side of this guy, we're gonna hold Alt and drag down to make your highlight go from thick to thin. We thin out the stroke a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and do a 15-point stroke instead of 8 points. Okay, and now you got a nice little highlight right here, and we could go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Just add a nice little highlight like this, a little bit smaller, shorter, so it's not so what do you call it, so it's not so symmetrical. Give it a little bit of variety. Can't say that word. And now that we have that done, we'll go ahead and just add a shadow on the bottom. So go ahead and create a new layer, and we're going to call it shadow. And then go ahead and do the same process. Just hit P on your keyboard and just make a line like that. And instead of white, we're going to go ahead and make it black with a blue hint to it. We'll do about 40% opacity, and boom, there you go. You got your nice little heart candy for Valentine's Day. Ooh. Alright, well, hope you liked this tutorial, and if you did, leave a like and a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.